Hello, hello. It's so good to have you here. How are you doing? I hope you're doing all right. And if you're not, I hope it doesn't take very long for you to feel better. You've arrived at Canto do Grilo, which in English means Grilo's Corner. I'm Dennis Grillo, and this is my corner. And today we're going to continue exploring Harpy and having a closer look at one of Harpy's tools, the Codex. The Codex is the campaign and world management section of Harpy. Um, and we have a lot of stuff that we can do here. So in this video, I want to show you how to do things while we create a game. So I'm going to create a game here with you, and we're gonna go through all the tools that we have. So let's do some world building. I'm going to go to my corner. Here I am. And our tool is the first one, World Builder, the Codex. So I have a lot of worlds created. You can come here. Of course, if you're starting now, you won't have all this. You can just create a world. The first information you're going to add is the cover of the world, so you can find it easier here in the menu, and you can add the name. So I'm going to call this Grillo's Corner, and then I'm going to create it. So I could press here, and I would create it. I have already created it before, so here it is, Grillo's Corner. Let's dive in. In the beginning, everything was dark. When you're starting your world building, you don't have anything here. It's just a blank page for your adventures and your story. This is not the this is not the only way for you to start a game here on Harpy. You can start from anywhere you want. If you want to start from the virtual tabletop, oh, I want to start with this battle map here because we're going to start in media res. We're going to start in the middle of an action scene and everything. I just want the battle map. So you can start creating characters, NPCs, all from the virtual tabletop, or you can start from the play by post section, starting the story, creating your characters, and then you can add other information later. If you're playing solo, for example, and you're discovering the world together with your character, so this is a good way of doing it. But you can start creating your world. So I want to start with this word here, entity. It doesn't mean your world is a horror story. You're not going to start like a horror game because of this name. Entity is how Harpy calls all the items, information, pieces of lore that you have. So all the player characters, all the NPCs, all the factions, all the places, all the events, everything is called an entity here in Harpy. And this is the only time you're going to see these big icons here, because usually they stay on this corner. And what are they? In the computer, you can hover your mouse and you can see the first one is characters, so you can add all the player characters here. The next one is creatures. You can add monsters, NPCs, all the beasts that you have in your game. You have places, so you can go from macro, continent, region, city, neighborhoods, whatever. The place for places. You can add groups, so a guild, a faction, they go here. You can add items, so sword, cloaks, magical items, whatever. You can link, create them here if you want. You have the story, so in your world, your stories are going to happen. So all the games that you start are going to be different stories. It could be like the same group of players. It could be different player groups, but all the stories of in this world are going to be here. You have abilities, so spells, skills, and different abilities from your games, superpowers. You have events, so if you have like a timeline or something important, if you want to keep some information as a GM, like a game report, you can add it here. And then you have the notes for anything that doesn't fit in the other categories, you can have it here. So usually I add like rules, um, uh, gameplay aids, and stuff like that. I put here. So when you click in these categories, this icon here changes, so you know what you're adding. And before we add here, I'd like to show you the settings. So we have add favorites. If you do, they're going to be one of the first worlds here. Like I have two favorited worlds. Um, then you have how to edit the world, which is adding a cover picture and the name. You can update that. You have delete the world, and don't worry, here on Harpy you can't delete stuff accidentally, because every time you try to delete, you're gonna have a pop-up asking you if you really want to do that, explaining what that means. You can export the world, so if you create Middle Earth, for example, you can just export it to your friend who's going to GM on that too, so they don't need to create everything from zero because you already did the job. Or if the other way around, they created the whole Narnia world with NPCs, places, events, everything, so you can import them to your Harpy account and use it. Then we have the space for languages, where you can create languages if you want elves to have their specific language, goblins to have their specific language, and then if your player characters speak goblin or elvish, then when they send a message, you're going to read as an actual message because you understand their language. If another player character doesn't understand that language, then they just see scribbles or hieroglyphics or whatever, symbols like these, yeah, alien ones, alien looking ones. You can configure that as you want. Then we have tags, which is a system to help you find information. So if you want to add an NPC tag to all your NPCs, you can just look here on our search and you can find all that information. Here you have the list of entities and you have the list of players of your world. Okay, you have a specific place where you can see the players of your specific adventure in that world, but here is where you see all the players. I'm gonna go into one of the games I have so you can see how that looks. So here in this world and game, I have 4 players, so I can see who they are, and I can see the characters they're playing with. Through here, you can promote a player to GM as well, if you're gonna have a co-GM situation going, and you can kick them if you need. Here's where you find an invite link for your players, so you can just copy that and paste in a WhatsApp, Discord, or whatever group you are looking for your players. So let's go back to Builder's Corner. Okay, so we're back to a world empty, and we're going to create our first entity. I'd like to create a place. I think a place is a good way to start. So we can add here our first place, our first entity of our world. All entities in Harpy have the same basic information. So NPCs, locations, and factions, anything. It's going to have the option for you to add an image to the entity, a name displayed to players, a description, and tags. So I'm going to add an image here for our first place, which is going to be our first tavern. We have to have a tavern in all the worlds. So I'm going to call this the Tails Tavern. And this is the name that the players are going to see as they look in the Codex, the information of the game, if you allow them to, if you grant them access to. But if you want, you can put a different name. Like, let's say you have an NPC and they don't know this NPC, so they don't know their name. You can add whatever here, like a wanderer, and when they interact with him, they're gonna see wanderer in the play by post section. As they interact, if they ask for their name, you can come here and delete that, and then they're going to see in the story it's going to be updated for their actual name. That's a really neat way of keeping secrets there. And this, if you're adding all the NPCs before the game happens, this is a really nice way to do it. You can give it a quick description so you know what it is. I'm gonna say the biggest tavern around. You can add tags, as I said, to help you look through a lot of lore that you have, a lot of information, all the entities that you have, but I'm not going to do this right now. So we can create our first entity of the game. And then it's going to show you the main information that you have. We have the picture here that you can look if you want. This is our steampunkish tavern, Tales Tavern. And we have a lot of stuff here. I'm going to show you really quickly what they are. You have a first page, which is the information that you can add. So you can add many pages, as many pages as you want of information. So here I'm going to see descriptors maybe. And then I can add blocks. So all the entities have blocks of information that you can add to personalize the entity. So if you press the plus symbol here, you can add text blocks, you can add gallery blocks, and you can add random table blocks. So the text block is just that. You add text and you have a really nice text editor that you can format your text in different ways. We're gonna have a video talking about that. We can add a gallery. So for those who like mood boards, you can add a lot of pictures to the gallery, and then you can check the entity and see, oh yeah, so this is, or you want to add like all the NPC pictures that have a job here in this tavern, for example. You can add that. And you have random tables. So you want to know what drinks people can find in this tavern, you can add a random table to this entity. The random table can be rolled straight from the Codex page when you're prepping your game, or you can roll the random tables on the chat. Just remember, depending on your subscription plan or your subscription level, you might not have access to the random table. So when you're messing here on Harpy, you're going to see that. So let's add a text block, and let's say that this is a tavern up on a hill. You can see, I know I'm on the way, I'm in the way. There we go. So you can see here all the stuff that you can do. You can bold it, you can use italic, and many other things that we're gonna cover in a different video. Right now I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger, save and close, and you have the first block of information on your first entity. Then you can keep adding blocks if you want. I want to add a gallery here. Let me put some pictures. I already have this picture, and I'm gonna put maybe an NPC that works here. So you can bulk add pictures here. You can add from your mobile phone. You can click it, and it's going to show your file manager of your mobile phone, and then you can just add the picture there. So you can, as I said, put any kind of picture that you want to bring the mood, the description of the place. And here we have our tavern keeper. So you have here a category with a gallery. So you have the gallery, you can open the picture, that's our tavern keeper, steampunkish. Cool. And you can also add, like I said, depending on your subscription level, you can add a random table. So the random table here, you can come here and edit it. You can add the name, so let's say drinks that you have on this tavern. Then you can add a drink. You can have a code water. Maybe you can have like silver drop beer, whatever that is. And then of course you can roll it from here if you want, or you can roll it on the game. This is the block options that we have, and you can move them around. Let's create another text block here. Just extra text. Let's save that. And then we can move it around. I think I want this information up here. And maybe the gallery can be the last thing in the page. Okay, all this information here, all the blocks, can be viewed by your players if you grant them access. I'm going to show where you do that in just a little bit, but we have some information here. We have the sheet. This is the character sheet, or the sheet of information for different entities. So here they already suggest a sheet for a place. You can have population, you can have the weather of the place, you can have the fauna, the flora of the place. I don't know, you decide. You can add things here according to what you want, and then players can go and check this information out, so you can show them that. We have another gallery which is just for the GM. Okay, so here you can add in pictures that the players can see. Here's just for the GM, and then we can add scenes. Scenes which are the actual maps on the virtual tabletop. So here I can select a map. In last video I talked about animated maps. If you want, I'm gonna pick this one, or you can just add if you want, but I'm gonna pick this map here, which I think is a good one for our tavern. And then you can see later on we're gonna have a video about the virtual tabletop, how to add tokens and all that, but you can add it here, you can navigate and all that, all from the Codex section if you want to change something here. Then we have the icons here on the right. You can delete this entity with everything on it, so you're going to be prompted to do that if you want. You can archive it if you don't want to delete it, but it's too crowded for you and you want to, have clean up your workspace here. You can archive it and you can unarchive it later. You can edit it, which is just changing the name, the description, the picture. You can clone this entity to different worlds in your Harpy, or you can clone it to have a, oh, I want to have another place like this. I just want to change the name and the picture, but I want to have all this information. I want to have another tavern, for example, so you can just clone it and change that. And then this little I here is the access, granting access permission. So you see that in this entity we have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of information in the main block itself. So right now I am the only one who can see and edit it. I don't have players here, so let's pretend this readers is a player. I could grant them access to see this information, or here it would be to edit this information. So right here they would be able to see the name, the picture, and the description. Okay, none of these they would see because I didn't grant them access. I can do the same thing. Oh, I just want them to be able to see this text that I talked about. So I'm going to click here and let them see it. And there it is. Oh, I have to, if I have 10 blocks, I have to do that for each one? No, you can come here on this arrow. You can just choose what players are going to see or edit everything on this. Then you can click this arrow here, which is apply access to children blocks. And then you click it, and we update all the blocks with the same permission access. So they can see all of these. Oh, yeah, no, but I made a mistake. I don't want them to see the random table. So I can come here and take that permission access out. This is how we share stuff. So if you want to share something with your player, make sure you add them here. I'm going to show you in one of my games so we can finish this video. Um, I have some information here and some things I want to show, some things I don't. So I just came here and my access permission, you're gonna see that I have some random tables here, and I have, let me show you, I have a group that I can faster grant them viewing access and editing access. And right now all my players can see everything. If I wanted to give just a specific player, I could unmark this and mark all the others, but that's not what I want. I want everybody, and that's it. Very simple. Then if I want for everything in this entity, I can just press here, and then they're gonna have access to all the information here. This is how you add uh, items to your game entities. This is how you mess around and this is how you grant them access. So uh, during our next videos, we're going to keep adding stuff, we're going to keep changing things, we're going to keep linking information that we can do this. I can link a character sheet or an NPC sheet. Maybe we're gonna do the NPC sheet for the tavern keeper, and then we can link his information here. We're gonna see this in a later video. I think we covered pretty much all that we have here. So that's it for today. Plenty more to see on the next videos. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when the next video is out. And as always, I'd love to hear what you think so far about Harpy. If you have any questions or suggestions, uh, you can feel free to drop your comments down below, and I will certainly get back to you. It was a pleasure to have you around, and I am going to be waiting for you on the next video. So see you later.